Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
NAIT Culinary students are creating a Thanksgiving feast that will be feeding the hungry.
To share some of our knowledge with our students and how to prepare a meal for 750 people.
With a new ban on the horizon, you'll no longer have to worry about easily accessible knives.
It also doesn't stop people from ordering things on Amazon that will show up in one day to your house.
And a new study shows the rise in sobriety among Canadian Gen Zs.
I just don't really have an interest in drinking, also the health benefits of not drinking.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening and welcome to NAIT NewsWatch. Thanksgiving is coming up, which for students might mean getting together with family, eating turkey, or having a drink.
However, Reese, drinking might not be something young people are interested in. Our Sam Spady brings us more live from the hallways of NAIT.
Thanks, guys. Going out for a drink with friends is not as common as it was, according to a new survey. We asked students here at NAIT if they drink or if they are cutting down, and asked one young student on why he chooses not to drink.
Cheers!
Sights of young people having a drink at a place like this or somewhere like Nestfest doesn't seem to interest Gen Z. According to a survey by Statistics Canada, 67% of people from 18 to 22 went the last week without a drink, compared to 54% of Canadians. They also had less high-risk drinking, with only 8% having 7 or more drinks in the last week, while the Canadian average was 15%. Companies like The Nest might wonder why young people choose to drink less or not at all. To find out why, I sat down with U of A physics major Cohen Fodness on why he chooses not to drink. With university being his top priority, Cohen doesn't have time for a drink.
So health benefits for one, definitely drinking has lots of effects on your health. Definitely don't want to be looking at long-term health effects. Also just don't really have an interest in drinking. Being drunk and having the effects of taking alcohol doesn't really, I don't know, just not interested in it.
Cohen isn't alone either, as students at NAIT had similar thoughts when asked if they chose to drink.
I wouldn't say I fall into that category. It just doesn't really align with my goals in life, and it's not something that interests me as much.
No. No, I don't think I fit into that category. I take medication every day.
For Doug Cedor, the executive director of Hope in Strathcona, this is great news.
Obviously, I would think it's a good thing, given the work that we do and the impact that that has on culture and society and communities, I think is a very good thing.
This trend shows that Gen Z, like Cohen, would rather focus on their future than have a drink. While it may mean less business for bars, this trend shows that Gen Z wants a healthy lifestyle.
So Sam, how does the percentage of millennials who don't drink compare to the percentage of Gen Z who don't drink?
Well, Reese, the percentage of millennials who don't drink is 12%, while the percentage of Gen Z who don't drink is almost double at 22%. This really highlights a significant gap between the generations in terms of not drinking.
And so Sam, what is the percentage of Albertans that didn't have a drink in the last week?
Well, Curtis, about 56% of Albertans did not have a drink in the last week. This is the fourth lowest number between all the provinces, and 14% of Albertans were at high risk with 7 or more drinks in the last week, which is the third lowest between provinces.
Thanks, Sam. That's Sam Spady reporting live from the hallways of NAIT.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
Albertans are now able to take their first steps towards protecting themselves against the upcoming flu season. Appointments are now available to Albertans for influenza, RSV, and COVID-19 vaccines. Flu and COVID vaccinations will start this Monday, while RSV appointments will begin October 21st.
Say those vaccines are very important to have, especially when you're in the healthcare field.
Maybe not for COVID-19 vaccines, maybe flu shots just to play it safe, but COVID-19, I don't think so.
They just don't really have the research, in my opinion, to be fully approved yet.
This will be the first year family physicians and nurses will not provide the vaccine. Instead, they are redirecting patients to get immunized at AHS clinics and pharmacies.
Edmonton has taken a major step in limiting access to knives after City Council voted to pass the motion on Monday. City councilors unanimously voted to ban the sale of knives at convenience stores and gas stations. Thandon Beatty, who was at a house party just outside of Edmonton, was stabbed with a knife over a year ago. While he survived, this made things like filling his car up with gas that much harder. While making knives like these less accessible, he doesn't believe this will do much to slow knife violence in the city.
It also doesn't stop people from ordering things on Amazon that will show up in one day to your house. And I think it'll stop youth crimes and whatnot, but I don't think it will really affect in the older ages and adult crimes.
The bylaw still needs to be drafted and then approved by council, which means it could take up to 2 years until this law comes into place.
NAIT Culinary students are giving back to the community by making a Thanksgiving feast for the Bissell Center.
For me, is this one is like sharing your blessings to other people.
The Bissell Center's annual Friendship Feast is taking place on Monday. NAIT students prepared 65 turkeys, 120 pounds of potatoes, and 100 liters of gravy to provide a warm Thanksgiving meal for someone in need.
It's our opportunity to give back to the community, right? We've been doing this for just over 2 decades now, and so it's very important. It's something that we look forward to doing every year, and one that we think is very important.
As well as a delicious turkey dinner, the Bissell Center will have live music, coloring activities, and smudge, so there's plenty to enjoy this Thanksgiving.
If you're hungry, look away now, because this pizza chain has gone viral in Edmonton. Big Mama and Papa's Pizzeria claims to have the largest deliverable pizza in the world, which has brought them viral success in Edmonton. Question is, how big is this pizza?
Pizza, like world's largest deliverable pizza, obviously it feels pretty good. And when people see it come to my store, first thing their reaction is, wow.
The pizza is 4.5 feet by 4.5 feet and can serve up to 60 people with 200 slices. So eating it alone is not recommended.
Reese, I don't know about you, but all the food we just talked about is making me really hungry.
Seriously, the food looks delicious. Coming up after the break, we take a look at the new Ooks volleyball season and the end of the Ooks golf season.
Hey, it's Kylie, your sports host. The NAIT Women's Volleyball team's got some new additions, and the NAIT Golf team's gearing up for nationals. All that and more coming up in sports.
Hi, I'm Robin Prevost. The Thanksgiving long weekend is almost upon us, and while Friday is looking to be a little bit chilly, we're in for a nice toasty long weekend. Join me as we get into our weather forecast.
Curtis, it feels like fall is here to stay. It's really starting to feel like sweater weather.
Yeah, it's definitely getting chiller outside. I mean, I have got all of my sweaters out of my closet. I'm really in the sweater weather mood.
Well, our Robin Prevost has more on how the long weekend will turn out weather-wise and if the chill is here to stay.
Thanks, guys. While this past week has been on the chillier side lately, we have a lot to be thankful for, as October is holiday central. Thanksgiving's around the corner, Migratory Bird Day is tomorrow, which we'll learn more about in entertainment, and it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so make sure to show your support. Now, with the long weekend coming up, you'll all be pleased to know that while Saturday will be about average temperature-wise, due to a high pressure rise, we will get a rush of warmth over the long weekend. Let's take a look at how the provinces are looking tomorrow, starting with Calgary. Now, it's going to be a little bit cloudy, but it's going to be nice and warm, with a high of 17 and a morning low of -1. On Jasper, it's going to also be a little bit cloudy, but also nice and toasty, with 14 as its high and -2 as its morning low. In Fort Mac, meanwhile, it's going to be nice and sunny, with a high of 12 and a low of -3 in the morning. In Edmonton now, it's going to be a little bit cloudy, but it's going to stay warm once it gets warm the whole weekend, with a high of 16 and a low of -2. Now our averages, meanwhile, are 10 and a low of 0 for Edmonton, and our record high was 27 in 1964, and our record low was -12 in 1959. All in all, weather-wise, we're going to be getting another taste of fall weather this Saturday, with a short return to summer weather over the long weekend. I'm Robin with an I, not a Y, and this has been your Saturday forecast.
NewsWatch Weather, sponsored by NR92, the station for the students.
Last week, we asked you our first question of the week. Have you been impacted by speeding drivers on campus?
You all responded, and our winner is @Jafar_Alabasi, who said, saw a student almost get run over by a vehicle heading westbound on Princess Elizabeth Ave just by the Domo gas station. I understand people are trying to get to places, but it's better to be late than to kill someone.
Thank you so much for that insightful answer. Go to @the_NAIT_Nugget on Instagram to claim your prize. With Thanksgiving almost upon us, our new question of the week is, what are you most thankful for?
Comment on the NAIT Nugget Instagram for your chance to win an awesome prize.
NAIT's golf team is getting prepared for nationals while the Edmonton Huskies are heading to the semifinals this weekend.
That's right, Curtis, and multiple NAIT teams are gearing up to start their season this month, and some added some key members to the roster. Our Kylie Betts has more.
Thanks, guys. Fall is here and our Ooks sports are starting up. Hockey, soccer, and volleyball. Our women's volleyball team have taken to the court with some key new additions. Head coach Armenia Thorpe expressed her fondness towards the 5 new recruits. Mid-20s recruit Courtney Weber has a degree in Indigenous history and is aiming for another in business. She is set to add maturity, stability, and experience to this already stacked roster.
In hindsight, I'm glad I'm playing now than when I was 18 because I think my volleyball IQ is a little higher and the experience definitely shows on the court.
The team's first match will be at Keano College on October 25th, and their first home game will be against Medicine Hat College on November 1st. The NAIT Ooks golf team is getting ready for 2024-2025 Nationals. The coaches and the team are gearing up for what should be a great tournament. Is this the year the NAIT Ooks golf team could win Nationals? Our Peyton Schwartz has more.
As the golf season comes to a close, excitement is building for the Ooks as they prepare for the much-anticipated 2024-25 Golf Nationals in Toronto, Ontario. This prestigious event marks a significant milestone in their journey. The Ooks are ready to take this challenge head-on. The team is poised to make their mark at Nationals.
We're really excited to go to Nationals. We went last year as a team back for the first time in a decade, and to go back again, we're looking forward to it. We got a lot of guys returning there, and yeah, it should be a good showing.
Their last practice being on Wednesday before making the trip, Coach Tyler Light makes sure his team is swinging in the right direction.
We're all excited. We all get to go compete in Toronto, which is what we all strive for this year. You know, we put in a lot of hard work this off-season. Got a lot of help from the new additions, a lot of good guys around the team. So we're excited to go as a group and compete again.
Tyler also shared how different his first year of coaching was to his second year of coaching.
It's been, you know what, it's been good. Every year is a little bit different, but we returned a lot of student athletes, and yeah, it's just kind of getting better year after year, and yeah, we're looking forward to doing it this year and then as well as next year as we move forward.
This season has been great for the golf team at the ACAC Golf Championships. Saw the NAIT Ooks shine, bringing home triple silver and a bronze medal. The men's, women's, and mixed teams all captured silver medals. Individually, Ella Dolan earned a bronze medal, shooting an 83 in her final round. Mason Gorski shot a stellar 71. Both men's teams and Ella will be competing. This helped the men's team to secure silver, which is how the Ooks qualified for the CCAA National Championships. Well, the golf team is heading to Nationals after a great season with a lot of silverware, and I think they might be adding some more silverware soon. This is Peyton Schwartz, NAIT NewsWatch.
The Edmonton Huskies are the only Edmonton CJFL team that made it into playoffs. They have gone 3-5 in the regular season and are now preparing for semifinals on Sunday.
Very good. Looking good, guys. Looking good.
The Huskies played the Saskatoon Hilltops last week in their last regular season game. The final score was 21-14 Hilltops. The Huskies dominated in the second half, making it a close game. The Huskies are set to battle them again in the semifinals in Saskatoon. And starting quarterback Wyatt Matson says facing them back-to-back lets the team know what they will be facing.
I've got a little bit of experience against them. It's going to be nice to actually go in and have a little bit of an expectation of what they're capable of and what they're going to do.
So we're going out and we're going to get our best effort together, and we're going to let it all out on Sunday.
The Hilltops have gone 8-0 in their regular season, so it's going to be a tough one for the Dogs, as the Hilltops are the reigning Canadian champs. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. in Saskatoon on Sunday. So guys, are you thrilled for the Ooks Women's Volleyball season?
Yeah, no, I'm pumped. I think it'll be a great year.
Yeah, Reese, I mean, it is a really, really stacked team, so hopefully they can do like what the men's did last year and make it to the Nationals. Reese, you like sports, right? Are you on the lookout for a new hobby?
Sure, as long as it gets my heart racing, I'm game.
Well, after the break, we'll learn how to speed through nature.
The wheel and sliding a bit, but that's safer than the front wheel doing that.
Good evening. I'm Ava Warrens, and with your NAIT NewsWatch, Fort Edmonton succumbs to the dark as horror is in town. And then of course we move to the Walter Dale Theatre as there's a murder that you all have to solve. But of course, if you're not into the Halloween spirit, we have owls migrating.
NAIT NewsWatch Team Apparel brought to you by Edmonton Plato's Closet and Heath Specialty Services.
If you're an adrenaline junkie, have we got a hobby for you? Have you ever been dirt biking, Curtis?
You know, Reese, I haven't been dirt biking, but our Rebecca man for this week's Try This has.
Today I'm going to try something a little out of my comfort zone, and that's dirt biking.
So this is the throttle, so it makes you go forward. The front brake is on the right side. This is the lever. You don't want to pull that around corners so you don't slide out. Here is the back brake, safer to do around corners, and it's a lot stiffer, so you have a higher chance of locking the wheel and sliding a bit, but that's safer than the front wheel doing that. On the other side, we have the clutch on the left-hand handle. This engages and disengages the engine from the wheel. So if you need to stop, you need to hold this down. If you need to go into gear, you need to hold this down.
Due to some technical issues, we had to change it up a bit.
Switching to the mini bike. This one is a bit simpler to work than the dirt bike. This is how you start it. It's a pull start rather than a kick start. There's fuel in the choke just to get it started, and the fuel is to get it running. Here's the kill switch. That means it's running, that's off. Here's the throttle, same thing as last one. And then here's the rear brake. There is no front brake on this one. There's also no shifting on this one. It's driven by a CVT, so it doesn't have any gears. So this one's a lot simpler.
Overall, this experience of learning to ride a dirt bike and mini bike was really fun, and I will be trying it again in the future, hopefully with a dirt bike that doesn't decide to not work. I'm Rebecca Mann with NAIT NewsWatch, and you should try this.
Curtis, I think I already know the answer to this, but are you into theater at all?
Yes, actually, fun fact, I used to be a huge theater kid back in high school. Still a little bit today. But just like our Eva Warrens, who attended the Walter Dale Theatre earlier this week to get all the details on the performance.
Thanks, guys. But hold on, Drama Queen. First, we gotta get into the darkness of Edmonton. Food, fun, and fear. Fort Edmonton is hosting a Halloween festival called Dark. This will be its biggest year yet, as this will be the busiest that they've ever seen it. This festival consists of many different fun and adrenaline-rushing activities. There's everything you could ever want at a spooky festival. Fried food, corn mazes, spooky storytelling, eerie displays, and of course, the most soul-striking, the 4 haunts.
It's difficult to say what the scariest haunt is. It's like picking between your children a little bit, but I think the scariest one could be Undead Mile. That tells the story of what happens if there was a zombie outbreak at a turn-of-the-century oil camp. So it's really unique to our site because we use our historic buildings and we also use sets that we've created. So it's a beautiful combination of Fort Edmonton as a museum turned on its head for Halloween programming.
Dark has been running for the last 7 years. Dark started back up again in October, on October 4th, and will be running till November 2nd. Make sure to get your tickets at thedark.ca if you want to see this Fright Fest at Fort Edmonton. While you may be looking over your shoulder, visiting from Dark, just outside of town looking for something maybe landing on your shoulder, as there is an animal hooting behind the scenes. Eugene Jacob went to the Beaver Hill Bird Observatory to observe owl banding in the night.
The Beaver Hill Bird Observatory is hosting its 2024 owl banding event in the evening. Families get to, of course, encounter owls physically and learn banding. They set up through Warbler Way and Flicker Freeway. When they go out, they check their data first, plan ahead of time, and get to meet Tansy, their in-house great horned owl.
It's a lot of fun to see the process and to see how cute they are in real life, especially as a species that we don't see very often.
To catch an owl, they use speakers that mimic their calls and thin nets that are nearly hard to see. After untangling them gently, they band their talon, measure the characteristics, and use the wing for its age.
We can do as much research as we want, we can band as many birds as we want, but banding birds doesn't save birds. Getting people involved with conservation saves birds.
The process throughout the entire night will allow people of all ages to learn more about owls, from thorough details to something as simple as its appearance, and even allowing visitors to pet it themselves.
It's really important for people to connect with nature, especially like younger kids and even older generations. Seeing a bird in the hand or an owl in the hand is a really good way to connect them with the world around them and make them care more about environmental issues.
Just wait until you see one of our saw-whet owls. They are even cuter than you can imagine.
On top of using bands, people can sponsor a nano tag, which allows them to name the owl in return for a new one, allowing the crew to collect more data from owls effectively.
This is a passive way of tracking them. We don't have to catch them again, they just have to fly within a 15-kilometer radius of a tower.
The event runs from Thursday to Sunday every evening, but spots get booked very fast. So, consider coming down to River Valley and watch the trees, because during the night, you might encounter an owl hidden in plain sight. I'm Eugene Jacob with NAIT NewsWatch.
Are you bored and want to get out and see some live entertainment? Well, you can. The Walter Dale Theatre is hosting a play called A Party to Murder. This play is about a murder mystery, and the group has to figure out who is the culprit. The entire cast and crew has been working diligently for a short month to bring this show to life.
So it's a murder mystery. Now, if you're a fan of Agatha Christie, it's got a lot of fun little Easter eggs. But yeah, it takes place of 6 people that are having fun during their murder mystery party game. And then all of a sudden things start to become real.
If you want to go see this performance, you can get tickets at showpass.com for this play, A Party to Murder, which runs from October 9th to the 19th. So guys, what do you think of all these spooky events?
Well, I for one am super excited. I mean, I love the Halloween season and I can't wait to go check out Dark.
Oh, me too. I'm a huge Halloween guy, so all the stuff they've got going on looks awesome. Thanks,
Right.
Ava.
Okay.
As Ava said, I am a huge drama queen, so I have got to check out that murder party.
Right? Dark looks like a pretty spooky time as well. So Curtis, that's been our show for today.
From all of us here at NAIT NewsWatch, have a great Thanksgiving long weekend, and we'll be back with another great show next week.